Dotted some 20 kilometres off the coast of Brittany lies this little stretch of paradise. The Glenan archipelago stands proud out of these crystal clear waters, a collection of 10 islands, the biggest being Saint Nicolas, Penfret and Loch. The surrounding waters are home to a rich diversity of marine life. This morning, Yves is giving his son Arthur his first taste of underwater fishing.
Under that big rock, you go into the grotto and you should find some fish. The spider crabs are on the other side. Under these rocks, there are hollow areas with fairly deep crevices. The fish come to take shelter in them. There's everything: crabs, wrasse, sea bass or sea bream. It's really interesting. The seabed is really beautiful down there.
Diving deep in the 13-degree water, the hunt begins. On offer today, some spider crabs, or more impressively, this 3-kilo lobster. But what truly stands out here for both tourists and islanders alike is how the white sand of the beaches gives such a unique colour to the water and seabed. It's a maritime wilderness that attracts thousands of visitors every day during the summer.
Here we have a very good example, some red algae. Oddly enough, you might think it's coral, but it is in fact algae. When it dies, it loses its colour and turns white. It then erodes and gets worn down. And it gives these sands here this extremely white colour, which is characteristic of the Glenan archipelago.
Lucienne MOISAN is a tour guide for the islands. She knows not just their hidden secrets, but their dangers too.
You can't just come and sail around the Glenan archipelago. There are rocks everywhere. It's not enough to be able to read a map. You have to really know the area.
This landscape has become a playground for sailors from around the world. For them, the archipelago is more than anything else, a training ground. Every year, 15,000 students come to camp out on the islands without water or electricity. It's said that the Glenan Islands are like a bug, one that Camille caught at a young age.
I started as a student at the age of 15. I got a real taste for it, and it's something I've loved ever since. There were quite a few capsizes among the level 5s. I'm just going to see where the third one is. What's given the Glenan School its reputation is both the island's beauty and the fact that the teachers sail close to their pupils. It's also the atmosphere that can be had on land. Glenan is a sailing school, but also a school of life. It's about living together.
Back on dry land, it's impossible to tell the students from their teachers. There are no official cooks or cleaners. Each member of the team chips in, just like life on board a ship.
Each person gives up a day of the week to the others to prepare the meals and do the dishes. We do the same thing for dinner.
Normally, Francois works in the hectic world of human resources. Teammate Laura comes from Rome.
What's interesting is that after 4 weeks of volunteering as a housekeeper, you're then entitled to 1 free week of sailing.
Volunteering is one of the key pillars of the school. 80% of the instructors work free of charge. The key word here is sharing. It's a concept that's been around since 1947, when resistance members Hélène and Philippe Vianney came to the islands as deportees, whose lives had been turned upside down by the war. 70 years later, dinghies and catamarans dot the ocean, running before the strong Atlantic winds.
For a course like this one, where there's an instructor training you, you must be prepared to sail in all conditions.
The students spend between 4 and 6 hours a day out on their boats, or at least they try to. Guided by their instructors, budding sailors try and learn how to ride the waves and deal with the unpredictable winds. In the middle of the sea stands a series of lighthouses, like this one here on Penfret. Sailor Jean Le Cam grew up in its shadow and regularly visits its keeper. He's eager to preserve the tower and its guiding light, on which sailors depend when they're often out at sea for months.
Today there are three main lights that come to mind: the lighthouse on Penfret, of course, the lighthouse of Cape Horn, and the Eiffel Tower. All lighthouses give comfort to sailors because we often sail for 3 months at a time. A lighthouse is something real. It's not a bearing or a marker on a GPS. We know that there's a real building behind the light we see beaming from it.
Students and seasoned seafarers alike are reassured by the warm glow of light, cutting its path through this corner of Brittany's rugged and beautiful coastline.